scoring, obviously. So the trouble is, the longer it goes, the harder it gets psychologically, because if he's gone 8 games, he's going to be thinking, should I be worried about the fact that I'm not doing what I've been brought to do? And
Yeah,
and I suppose a club quite rightly would not want to put too much pressure on him, and the fans won't. I think fans generally in our country for their clubs are very tolerant. I think they will, provided they can see someone's giving everything, and he may have been a bit unlucky and missing a goal here or there, but that most fans can see if the person's putting everything into it. And provided he's doing that, then I don't think the club will be worried because, as they say, once somebody scores, often and usually it starts to open up, for more goals. We could look at Salah. Now, he's not doing very well on the goal front so far, is he? He really isn't by his standards. But I don't suppose anybody's worried at Liverpool because he will come good. He's that good that you can't keep a good player down for long. But I don't think he scored many goals this season at all. Whereas someone like Haaland at Manchester City, he still, this season so far, has got a lot of goals. He just has so many goals in him. He's big, he's imposing, and he just takes his chances. And he's very quick for a big man as well. Salah's generally very quick, but he does look a little bit heavy-legged this season. I don't know whether that's, I don't know, the fact they've had changes in the team. Maybe he's being asked to do a few different things and it's not quite working out for him, or maybe his confidence is low, because that's the point of, this new Arsenal player. The more games you go without scoring, that precious commodity called confidence starts to diminish. It starts to, you start to doubt yourself. Oh, I've got to get in the right position. And when you start, it's like anything. It's like breathing. We don't think about breathing.
yeah,
When you start to think about it, if you think, oh, I feel a bit breathless, you can start to feel a bit stressed and it's hyperventilating. So we don't need to think about many things. It's automatically done by the body. And in football, it's the same sort of principle, I think. If you know your game, you're really good professional footballer, you've been bought by a top club in Britain, in England, you've got it. You've got it all there to do it. But if it's not working, often through circumstance, through bad luck, or the team isn't playing as well as usual, you're going to start to think about, what am I doing wrong? A bit like you're thinking about the breathing. And that can incapacitate it. That can make it so much harder. I know, another analogy of that, because I think it's a very important element, how a player thinks and functions. If he's on autopilot, doing what he does best, that's when it works. And you can see that in Haaland. He's always on autopilot. He's herring through, getting the ball, placing it, and it's a brilliant goal. Autopilot is great. But I know from, say, being a musician, when I'm playing the piano, great. I can do it without looking if I'm a particular song I'm playing. But if I'm sort of not so sure, or think making a mistake here and there, and you start to look at your fingers, it's shocking. You start to make mistakes. If you start to look, and the guitar, you start to think, oh, why is it my finger? So thankfully for me, it tends to be always on autopilot. I don't have to think about that side of it, which means you've got more time for other things. But once those players start questioning themselves, which they're bound to, why am I not scoring? What am I doing wrong or different? Then it can put a spanner in the works. And maybe that's the point with this guy at Arsenal. But I bet in a week or two's time, we'll be saying, oh, he scored a couple of goals now and it looks like he's set for the season, and so on. Because especially with Arsenal, they're a good attacking team, really. They've got some great players. Well, I note Odegaard is going to be out for a month or two with his injury, but that's another subject. But yeah, I think this fellow will come good, and I think Arsenal will. With his injury, but that's another subject. But yeah, I think this fellow will come good, and I think Arsenal will prove to be the great side this season that they are suggesting, that they could well win the league, I would think.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Good. Well, here's one that is sort of done a little bit better than most of them. It's a new buy as well, a new acquisition for Liverpool. Alexander Isak is signed for 150 million. He's only scored one goal so far this season, which is better than Gyokeres and
Yeah,
worse.
psychological
Now,
as well. Yeah,
now he's more to be criticized because of all the furore that was surrounding
yeah.
him in his, the transfer market when he wanted to leave Newcastle. Now, do we think he's gonna find his footing very soon?
Was it 150? I've heard different amounts. Thought it kind of settled on about 130, but
Right.
130
Well,
million. But anyway,
it's
it was up
150
there in the.
million euro. Sorry.
Oh, right, and right. So
Yeah.
it's about 135 million pounds.
Yeah.
Um, it's a very good question. It's difficult to name somebody, but sometimes in football, you go back over a few years. Not all transfers work out. We know that. And I think one example I've already mentioned probably was Sancho at Manchester United. It didn't really work out for him for whatever reasons, even though they paid a lot of money. Um, but I suppose I would still have to say if a player is a real class act, if he's an obvious, like Ekatike, for example, or Haaland, um, if he's got that, then it will be a success.
Yeah.
And I think Isak will prove to be. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, so we're gonna end this segment and we'll join us again for the next segment of the football referee, where we talk more about Isak, and then we've got a lot more topics to talk about. So join us in a little bit. So this we're going to join us in the second half. Don't miss it. Bruv is raring. Bruv is really
Raring to
raring.
go.
Let's go. Right, okay. So we'll catch you in a minute.